Lagos, the nation's commercial capital. This is the news at 10, live from Channels Television. Reporting tonight,
Bimbo Oloyede.
Hello and welcome. Tonight, Lagos Economic Summit ends as experts recommend generation of 170,000 megawatts to power the nation's economy. Oil marketer on wanted list of EFCC over 979.6 million naira subsidy fraud escapes to Canada. House of Representatives also passes Budget 2014, 20 hours after the Senate's decision. And search for missing Malaysian plane, flight MH370, detects possible new underwater signal.
And on business news tonight, industrialists call for reduced cost of generating power to drive a manufacturing-based economy.
And tonight on Sports News, Athletics Federation of Nigeria appoints former world and Olympic champion Maurice Green as relay coordinator.
I'm Linda Akibe, and from Abuja, Inspector General of Police tells Anambra State Governor to demote traditional rulers found to be aiding criminal activities.
$170,000 megawatts. That's the quantum of electricity needed to power the nation's economy. This is coming from the Lagos Economic Summit, which ended today. The Lagos State Governor, Babatunde Fashola, also used today's platform to advise Nigerians not to treat the nation's power infrastructure with levity. He says power generation will only become meaningful when it is effectively distributed. Our business correspondent, Bolaji Akinwale, reports.
Peace and unity.
It's the final day of the 7th Lagos Economic Summit. In his remark, Governor Babatunde Fashola calls on residents to protect power installations.
We must take ownership of those assets as if they were our assets, because ultimately it is us that they serve. We cannot, in fits of anger, then break electricity poles. We cannot, in fits of disagreement, damage transformers. We all owe responsibility now to conserve power, because that is the way that it will go round. It is a shared asset, and conservation means switching off light points when we don't need them, switching off air conditioning, and other electrical appliances that are not in use. And of course, we must stop buying second-hand electrical materials.
The Deputy Governor of Lagos State, Mrs. Adejoke Orilukpe Adefulire, also adds her voice on the need to achieve steady power supply.
In order to improve the life of Nigerian and Lagosian in particular, we must take this power issue on the front runner. And we have, as a government, take a giant step in encouraging some private investors to come and partner with us. We have provided enabling environment, legislation, provide regulations also to support their investment.
It may be interesting to note that this summit couldn't have come at a better time, going by the quantum of electricity needed.
The fact that even the pipeline that we have, right now we have the Alps, and it's being looked to have the Alps too, combined will have 2.5 BCF per day. Even if you add all that 2.5 BCF per day, it will generate 4,000, 5,000 megawatts, which is a far cry from where we are. While we talk of 40,000 megawatts, actually 40,000 megawatts is too small. A country of our size, we should be talking about 160, 170,000 megawatts.
And for investors, it seems to be business unusual in Lagos.
A lot of work has been done to reduce the bureaucracy, and that's been reflected, I think, in the attitude of a lot of UK companies who are coming in here. Our role is basically to liaise with Lagos State Government, on a very regular basis, to draw their attention to any issues that are preventing UK companies coming in here, whether to trade or to invest.
It's been 3 days of frank talks and ways to resolve the power challenges of Lagos State. Beyond the skepticism that has characterized the ability of the Nigerian government to provide uninterrupted power supply, Lagos may lead others by addressing the power problem of the state once and for all. Bolaji Akinwale for Channels Television News.
Well, now Nigerians are waiting to see how most of these ideas put forward at the Lagos Economic Summit will be implemented. And another issue they will also like government to look at seriously, particularly at the centre, is corruption. And the government seems to be waking up to its responsibility as the Federal High Court today opened fresh hearing on corruption charges against the son of the late head of state, General Sani Abacha. He's accused of allegedly receiving about 446.3 billion naira, said to have been stolen from government coffers between 1995 and 1998. In the 9-count charge, Mr. Mohammed Abacha is accused of dishonestly receiving stolen property and that he voluntarily assisted in concealing money. The charge replaces the earlier 121 counts in which Mohammed was charged with Atiku Bagudu. The charge, dated February 24, 2014, was filed by a private prosecutor, Daniel Enwelum, who is prosecuting the case on behalf of the federal government, and upon a fiat dated February 18, 2014, issued to him by the Attorney General of the Federation. Mohammed's absence in the FCT High Court today, however, stalled his planned arraignment on the new charge. Justice Maman Kolo therefore adjourned the case to April the 29th. Meanwhile, one of the major oil marketers on the EFCC's wanted list, Mr. Oluwaseun Ogunbambo, may have fled to Canada. The Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC, told an Ikeja High Court today that the suspect fled to Canada to avert justice. Mr. Ogunbambo is charged with receiving 979.6 million naira from the federal government without supplying any petroleum product. According to the spokesman of EFCC, Mr. Wilson Owujaren, the suspect now at large and another oil marketer, Habila Thek, and their company, Fargo Energy Limited, are facing trial for defrauding the government of 979.6 million naira. Residents of the Federal Capital Territory may be bidding farewell to water scarcity following the commissioning of a 20 million litre water treatment plant in the Buari Area Council. At the commissioning of the Lower Usuma Dam project, President Goodluck Jonathan promised to ensure the completion of all water projects scattered across the country. He said his administration is committed to the provision of potable water for Nigerians to discourage the drilling of boreholes by individuals. State House correspondent Chukuma Onwekusi has the report.
President Jonathan acknowledging cheers from the locals who converged on the premises of Usuma Dam plant in the Federal Capital Territory for the commissioning of phases 3 and 4, 20 million litre Lower Usuma Dam water treatment plant. He decried the spate of uncompleted water projects scattered across the country, pledging that his administration will pursue their completion to improve the lives of the citizens.
Recognizing that lack of continuity resulting in the plethora of abandoned projects across the country is a major pitfall of national development planning, our administration has pursued a policy of completing all projects that will directly improve the lives of our people. To this end, we are investing substantial resources in the completion of all water projects initiated long before the inception of this administration. These water treatment plants were given priority in order to alleviate the plight of the residents of our cities, including Abuja.
The water project cost about 18 billion naira. The Federal Capital Territory Minister is grateful to the President that he did not allow funding challenges to stall the project.
Propelled by your passion to ensure adequate water supply in the Federal Capital Territory, Mr. President, you graciously approved the necessary funding for this project, culminating in the successful execution. In a sense, this commissioning, which we are witnessing today, is a credit to your leadership and passion for the welfare of the people.
We are doing this happily.
And now the commissioning proper.
In honor of the Almighty Father.
And the president was also taking round the plant for first-hand assessment of the project. Some of the main features at the plant include the screening session and the purification components, which experts say meet the World Health Organization standards any day. Those who've been following the water project say it is a promise made and a promise kept. They describe the Federal Capital Territory as a role model which other states of the Federation should emulate. Chukwuma Omekusi, Channels Television News.